All right, ordinal scales. Ordinal scales are one scale up from a nominal scale. And each subsequent scale is one scale up from the previous scale. And what that means is that each subsequent scale can do everything that the previous scale can do, plus one more thing. So whenever you're analyzing, is a particular scale one of the four types, always start with the least or the lowest level scale, the nominal scale. Ask if it fits the nominal scale category, then ask if it fits the ordinal scale category, and keep building up until it no longer satisfies those criteria, and you'll figure out what scale it's at. Because the ordinal scale, the next step up, can do everything that the nominal scale can do. It has different categories. But now, kind of spoiler alert, you can also rank the categories. You can put them in order. So an ordinal scale, you can make the categories, you can identify different categories, but then you can also rank those categories. Now you can actually say, this one has more of this. This one has more of what we measured than this other category. So one of the classic ordinal scales are any movie rating systems that are measuring movie quality. Right? So a movie rating system will measure movie quality. So a critic will go see something like Transformers: The Last Knight, aka the movie that put the final dagger into the Transformer universe. We have The Mummy from last year, Tom Cruise's The Mummy, movie that killed the entire Dark Universe expanded universe there. And then we had Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron, female-led action noir. And then also I think a couple years ago we had Wonder Woman, big, huge success, critically acclaimed. So we have those four movies. And critics will use measurement scales to put those four movies into an ordinal scale in terms of quality. What they're measuring is movie quality. So what might that look like in our types of measurement scales? Well, in the measurement scale itself, one of the classic sort of movie measurement scales is the star system, right? So we got a 1-star movie, we got a 2-star movie, we got a 3-star movie, and we got a 4-star movie. And what they'll do is they'll basically assign different movies, different stars based on their quality. So Transformers, and these true scores are from Rotten Tomatoes. Transformers, very low score. It was a 1-star movie, indicating low true quality of the movie. Wonder Woman, 4-star movie, indicating high true quality of the movie. Tom Cruise's The Mummy, low quality movie, 2-star movie, which again indicates low true quality of the movie. And then we have Atomic Blonde, that was a 3-star movie, again indicating higher quality of that movie. So notice that you put these movies in order. So we have an ordering to them. So with this ordinal scale, you can say that a 3-star movie has higher quality than a 2-star movie. You can say that Atomic Blonde, that movie's true quality is better, is higher than Tom Cruise's The Mummy. And I know that movie quality is subjective, but again, we actually have the true scores represented here. So we're imagining that these movies actually have a sort of, if an omnipotent force came down and said, I judge these movies to be like this, basically that's what we're looking at, their true score. So you can put these in order, that's an ordinal scale. But we cannot do other things with this. And one of the things that we can't do, and this is really tempting to do with this type of a scale, is you can't take averages. You cannot take averages with this ordinal scale. And the reason that it's tempting is because the ordinal scale oftentimes is represented in numbers, right? So we got a 1-star movie here. We got a 2-star movie here. We got a 3-star movie over here. We got a 4-star movie over here. And you might ask yourself, well, if I'm asking about the average quality of these two movies here, couldn't I just take 1 plus 2 and divide that by 2 and we'll end up with 1.5? Can't I say that those two movies on average have a quality of 1.5? And while you can plug that into a calculator and spit out the answer, your answer makes no sense whatsoever, because the 1.5 that's between there is not between these two movies in your true score. So this true score here is on the measurement scale a 2-star. This true score here is on the measurement scale a 1-star. Their true middle is not 1.5. It's about 1 3/4 here. Sorry, it's about 1 1/3 here. So you can, on your measurement scale, find the middle of your measurement scale, but it does not line up with the middle of the true score. So if you take averages with an ordinal scale, you will bias the results, you'll skew the results, you will basically incorrectly and falsely represent what your true scores are. And that's one of the important things to keep in mind for the ordinal scale. Because while you would be completely correct in saying, oh, Wonder Woman, 4-star movie, 4 stars better than 3-star, Atomic Blonde, 3-star movie, Wonder Woman is better than Atomic Blonde. Notice, 4 stars greater than 3 stars, Wonder Woman greater than Atomic Blonde. The measured scores reflect the actual truth. Middle of the 3 stars and 4 stars, not the middle of the actual quality, it's over here. So taking the average of these scores does not represent the actual truth. So you always have to be very careful when you see people starting to take averages. It can skew results and lead to misinterpretations of what's really going on out there. All right, so that's the ordinal scale. So typical examples, things we just saw, movie rating system. You cannot add up the scales that movies have been given and then take an average, for example. That's not allowed. Restaurant rating systems. This is a great one that we hopefully have not all experienced, but you'll hear about, ooh, this is a 5-star restaurant, this is a 4-star restaurant, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. Your experience in a restaurant like that, that's what the restaurant rating scales are trying to tell you. They're basically trying to tell you what your dining experience is going to be like. And the difference between a 5-star and a 4-star. A 5-star restaurant, you'll have the experience of your lifetime, right? It's going to be a great dining experience. A 4-star restaurant, slightly less, right? The difference between 5-star and 4-star, not that big, right? Not that huge of a difference. So we got a 1-star difference that is a very small drop in the quality of your dining experience. If you've ever gone to a 2-star restaurant compared to a 1-star restaurant, 2-star restaurant, you're not going to enjoy the food very much. It's going to be kind of bland. It's not going to be great. Not going to be a good dining experience. Take 1-star below, you end up in the hospital with food poisoning. All right, huge drop in your dining experience from a 2-star restaurant to a 1-star restaurant. So very small drop from 5-star to 4-star, huge drop from 1-star to 2-star, and it's still 1-star difference. But that 1-star difference means different things at different points in the scale. That's why you can't take the average. So restaurant rating systems, any top X lists, top 10 lists, top 5 lists, the difference between first and second place might be razor thin. The difference between second and third place might be super huge. So we see this in the Olympics all the time, where the first place finisher just barely beats out that second place finisher. And third place is all the way back here, trying to get that bronze medal. There's no difference between, in terms of the steps on the scale between first and second, second and third. It's a 1-step difference on the scale. That does not translate into the same difference in the actual true scores. So you cannot take the average of those. You can't say that, oh, the silver medal time was the average of the gold medal winning time and the bronze medal winning time. That's not going to be the case in most situations. All right, let's get into psychology. Likert scales. Likert scales are the subject of much debate because at their core, Likert scales are an ordinal scale. So they are, on a scale of 1 to 7. How did you How well do you think you performed, on your test? 1, not very well. 2, slightly not well. 3, neutral. 4, I did well. 5, I did extremely well. Those you can rank in terms of the order. You can say that, yes, doing poorly is going to be lower than doing neutral. But as you probably experienced with Likert scales, they do averages of Likert scales all the time. There are many psychological tests where they take the sum of all your answers on a Likert scale, and then they take the average of those. And that is not necessarily true, right? So the difference, and you can see it this way, the average of somebody, let's say that we had a scale that had to do with customer satisfaction, right? Somebody that replied 5 out of 5 for the first series of questions and 1 out of 5 for the final series of questions, right? Say there were 10 questions. For the first 5, how prompt was the response? 5 out of 5. How helpful was your customer associate? 5 out of 5, right? 5 out of 5 for the first 5 questions, 1 out of 5 for the last 5 questions. You take the average is going to be 3 out of 5 for the entire survey. That person had a much different experience than somebody who has 3 out of 5 all the way down. What was the response time? Average. What was the friendliness? Average. How helpful were they? Average. So it's a completely different experience, but you take the average of those two Likert scales and it ends up with the same average. So you cannot take the averages of Likert scales, and you will notice time and time again in your psychology education, people will do that over and over and over again. Now, one of the things that I'll mention for ordinal scales here is that you'll see that, and when you go to grad school, if you take psychometrics, which is the study of measurement scales as applied to psychology, there are justifications for why you're able to do the Likert scale that go beyond the scope of this course. But just know that as an ordinal scale, it does not qualify for things like taking averages. So if you ever come across a study that uses Likert scales, their results can be called into question if they take averages, which again, most of these studies do. All right, any questions on ordinal scale? Okay, so what kind of math can you do with these scores? The answer is you can order them. So you can do the mathematics of putting them in order, right? Saying that this one comes before this one is greater than this score is less than this score, and that's it. That's all you can do. Can't take averages, can't add them all up, can't do that, not allowed.